The events of last night should make us think very carefully. The Iranian attack, the Iranian missile attack, should make us think very carefully. Because the shadow war between, well, there are various shadow wars going on. The shadow war, let's say, between Israel and Iran is now potentially a real war. The shadow war between Russia and America, which has started in Ukraine and has continued as a diversion, I suggest, in Israel, is now ramping up. This is the problem. And at the moment, Iran feels it is simply responding to Israel. Israel feels it is simply responding to Iran or to Hezbollah. The point is that that response quickly moves into an escalation now. This is the thing I want to present to you this morning, just to think about. Who benefits from war in the Middle East? Who benefits is Putin. War in the Middle East distracts the Western powers from the war in Ukraine. Possibly the only play that Putin had left, other than a nuclear weapon, was to tickle the belly of Iran. And Iran is a terrifying machine, is a terrifying animal. Why? Because like Putin's rat, Iran is backed into a corner. The Iranian regime, the Ayatollahs, represent a minority faction in Iran, and always have. A faction which has maintained control. The Shia tradition of Hezbollah doesn't attract many friends across the Islamic community in the Middle East. Most people belong to the Sunni tradition and regard Shia as broadly heretical. I've seen this myself, particularly with communities in Turkey. And while the Shia-Sunni difference may be indulged, there isn't that same sense of camaraderie. So Iran hasn't got a lot of friends, but it does have Russia. And in the back of my mind is the worry about what Russia has offered Iran in return for Iranian missiles. The rumor is that Putin has gifted Iran nuclear secrets, nuclear parts, even nuclear weapons. That makes Iran even more dangerous. And we know that Israel is a nuclear-powered state. Up till now, the flashpoint for the beginnings of a serious Third World War have always been in Ukraine. Now the dynamic shifts, and it could be Israel or Iran. I find this very worrying, and you know, and the same sort of concerns that I express about Ukraine and Russia, I would express about Israel, Iran, Hezbollah, and Hamas. First, I would try to look at this from a political, then from a logistical, and finally from an ethical viewpoint. And no matter what advantages and what ties I can see that leave Israel into a position of advantage from an ethical point of view, I find it very difficult to justify the siege of Gaza as it took place, because it didn't achieve its objectives and it came across as vicious. This is a war which has been manipulated by people who can read character very well and knew that once goaded, Netanyahu would never stop. This is a war that has been allowed, and the consequences of this, as we wake up today, the consequences are enormous. What will Israel do in response to the missile attack yesterday, which was comparable to the missile attack a couple of months ago? Same sort of number of missiles, same level of impact, really. What will Israel do? I'm sure the world is waiting with bated breath. I am.